YouTube. Welcome to Nut Nerdy or
Die.
Die. What you guys are going to be watching in this video today is a review of the new movie that hasn't even come out yet. We just got back from a screening in, where did we go, Los Angeles? We got flown out.
We recorded this in February, but they said we couldn't release it till March.
There was an early showing at the theater here, and we just got done seeing 300 Rise of an Empire.
Rise of an Empire.
Which is a sequel?
Sidequel.
Yeah.
It happens concurrently with the original 300 with Gerard Butler.
Yeah. Gerard Butler's not in it, starring a new dude. Themistocles is the main good guy.
And he's running the Athen Naval Army?
Greek, Athen.
Yeah, and he's with those. He's not allied with the Spartans in any way. There's basically just two separate factions taking on the Persians at different points.
Right. So this movie, the plot is basically that Themistocles is a naval commander, basically, and it's all naval warfare. He's going against Artemisia, who is the female baddie in this one. Xerxes kind of orders her to.
Yeah, she's under the rule of Xerxes.
Yeah, she's
so
under the rule
you'll
of
remember
Xerxes.
as like the giant 9-foot golden guy with all the jewelry on his
jewelry
face from the first 300 movie.
Yeah, with the
And
really
it's played
deep
by
voice.
the same actor in the
Yeah,
second.
he returns
sequel,
for
which
that.
Is pretty cool.
And so basically, he's taking on her because she's a big naval leader for Persia, and so it's a huge naval warfare battle the whole time going through, and it's bloody awesome. No pun intended.
It's all kinds of bloody.
All kinds. I mean, if you thought 300 was, I think this was probably, I don't know, because this one had a lot of blood, but like mixed with like the water and everything, it was.
Yeah, it was really cool seeing everything like that. What I really enjoyed about this movie was that I was telling him this when we got out. It felt more of like a complete story to me.
Oh yeah.
Whereas 300 was kind of just like about Leonidas and his Spartans. This one goes like even before Xerxes became the God King and shows like what happened to make him the God King. It goes like all through like the events of 300 and how it affected the rest of Greece and like all this stuff, and then it finally all climaxes in the end. And I just thought it was like more of an interesting story, like more of a circular story. I mean, like 300 kind of seemed like a triangle.
It
like
was.
Leonidas and the Spartans.
Yeah, it was Leonidas and Spartans
But this one
and their
was
little
still-
battle. But this it goes like 10 years in the past, and it shows how
Themistocles.
Themistocles, I'm gonna mess that name up every time.
Themistocles.
Themistocles, he takes out King Darius, who is Xerxes' father. So we kind of see how Xerxes rose to power because he's avenging his father, King Darius, and then 10 years jumped ahead in the future, and then I don't know if that's Xerxes' basis on taking out Greek. I think he just wants to rise to power.
Well, it was the Greeks. The Persians were trying to overtake the Greeks because they didn't like that they had freedom and the Persians couldn't control them. And so the Persians were trying to overtake the Greeks when the main character in this movie, Themistocles, actually kills the Persian leader, which makes Xerxes rise to power, which in turn makes him want to take down Greece for vengeance and for his father.
Yeah. I mean, you guys probably
And for glory.
look all this up. This is all historical stuff that this whole movie is based upon, but they put their own twist in it. Basically it's naval battles. Artemisia is actually a really cool female baddie. I thought she was
very, very good.
I thought she was going to be a little lackluster in like what she does, but she's because at the beginning of like most of the movie, she kind of just sits back and she orders her men below her like, "Hey, go and take care of this," and then they fail, and then she's like, "You guys suck." But like
in those words, it's like you guys suck.
basically.
Hashtag get out.
But towards the end, like she starts to she fights. She gets 2 swords. And
I could argue that she almost is the second main character besides Themistocles. They
I would
have
agree.
about the same screen time.
I would agree. Yeah.
And it's like both of their we as the audience get to see kind of both of their battle plans go into action, but they don't know what each other's battle plans are. And so it's really cool. Like, we know what's going to happen. We don't know how exactly it's going to play out, but we know what strategy they're going to go for.
And she's not really like shown much in the trailers. It's more because I thought it was going to be focused on Xerxes, and Xerxes
Xerxes
no
was
screen
focused
time.
a lot. Xerxes is maybe in 20 minutes total of the movie.
Yeah.
And the movie was about 2 hours, 10 minutes, something like that.
Something like that.
Maybe a little bit shorter than that. I might not have that correct.
But back towards like the 300, what's going on now? The Spartans are kind of, they've retreated and they're back in Sparta, mourning because Leonidas dies during this whole naval warfare that's going on, and then so they're back mourning.
Which have you seen the first 300 movies?
Yeah.
No.
So they're back mourning, and Themistocles, I'm gonna butcher it. They end up getting kind of overrun, and they need some help. So he goes to Queen Gorgo, who is Leonidas' wife.
Who also returns, Lena Headey, that you would know from Game of Thrones.
She returns
and Terminator: The Sarah Connor Chronicles.
She doesn't look aged at all for 7 years.
Not at all. She's a really good actress too.
Yeah.
I really liked her. She really got she's not in it as much as she was in 300, I wouldn't say, but she got more to do in this movie than she got to do.
Because in the other one, she's just like sending Leonidas off.
Yeah, she's just kind of there to be like what Leonidas is fighting for. Right. But in this movie, she has more of like her own personal story that she goes through, and Themistocles is there to see it, which is really cool because then we get to see it.
Yeah. So the Hunchback guy also returns. He's still under Xerxes' not command, I guess. Just he's on Xerxes' side.
Yeah, he's Xerxes' honorable servant.
Right.
I think is what.
And Xerxes commands him to take the sword, the Themistocles, and Themistocles then takes the sword to Sparta. Leonidas' sword. Yeah.
To show that Leonidas has fallen.
To show that Leonidas has fallen, and then that's basically what turns Queen Gorgo around, because Themistocles gives her the sword and says, "You need to avenge him," and then we later see that they do come and help, because after a couple battles, Themistocles finally decides that, hey, we need to end this the best we can, and they come up with the plan that they're just going to go in and basically go in suicidal, because they knew they were overrun, just like in 300.
He has a really cool line. That's one point. He's like, we'd rather die on our feet, or we'd rather die on our feet than
on our knees,
than alive on our knees, than survive on our knees, something like that. It's a really, really, really good movie.
Yeah, and there's a lot of really good dialogue in the movie.
Like action-wise, this has way more action.
Oh yeah, tons more action, and because the first 300, it was very slow-paced and it was strategic more. This one's just open-ended.
Yeah, because it was more like
spears and.
It was like the 300 had to figure out how they could take down this army, stop them from getting here. But this one, it's almost like
they know they have.
The Greeks are still less than what the Persians are.
Yeah.
But they are they know that there's no we can't have any strategy of them just coming to us. We have to fight in the middle.
Yeah.
We have to go and fight.
They're ramming ships and they're jumping
and sword fighting and
blood's doing everything on the sea.
Total
it's
annihilation
really cool.
of body limbs.
Yeah.
No arms or legs survive.
So they go to this place. It starts with an S. I can't remember the name. It's like
Port of something.
Port of something. And so they send a message to Xerxes to meet them there, and that's where they're going to do the final battle. And so we get a big final battle scene of the 10 Greek ships rolling in versus the 1,000 Persian ships. So
we won't say what happens.
Yeah, we won't say what happens in the battle. Well, I mean,
we don't want to get spoilers.
Right.
We're just going over the plot.
Yeah, all right. We don't want to give spoilers. But anyways, there's some really cool fight scenes. I don't want to give spoilers.
It's like if 300 had the one battle at the end and that was the one you were looking forward to, this is the one you should look forward to times 10.
I don't think we've given any spoilers in this movie, really.
I've tried not to.
I mean, I don't think I have either.
You've gone for some plot stuff, and I've tried to back you away from it.
Yeah, well,
A
I
little
mean,
bit.
I haven't really got anything big though. I was just giving a major plot. But so like I said before, Themistocles gives Leonidas his sword to Queen
Democles.
Gorgo. Themistocles.
Democles.
No. Gives Leonidas his sword to Queen Gorgo and says, "Avenge him." So whether she does or not, you guys are gonna have to watch it and find out. So whether or not Sparta and Greece
And we
unite.
know from the history books that eventually Sparta
and Greece unite to
do
overthrow.
unite. But will Queen Gorgo get her vengeance?
Yeah, will she
For
get her
Leonidas'
vengeance
death.
for Leonidas' death on Xerxes? We
That
don't
is
know.
something
We don't
we'll have
know.
to see.
Yeah. But overall, bloody, gory, great dialogue,
Crazy.
good acting, crazy action.
Crazy.
I get 2 times, 10 times better than 300. I think it's so much better than 300.
Oh, also the guy with the iPad from 300 comes back.
yeah, the guy.
I don't know. Dilios?
Dilios, the guy that.
He comes back. He's not in it almost at all.
Yeah, he's not.
They
in
were
that.
just kind of, he was just put in there to, I guess, give another connection to 300
Yeah.
besides just Queen Gorgo and the Humpback and Xerxes. But
Yeah. So there it was, guys. Your review before the movie, basically before the movie even comes out.
because it technically releases tomorrow.
Technically
we just
releases
saw an early
tomorrow.
show of it.
Yeah. So that's your 300 Rise of an Empire review. I give it a nerdy,
I get it double nerdy.
but also people died.
So there was a lot of bloody and dying.
But overall, it was a nerdy, great
I
movie.
mean, for them it was a die.
For them,
but
it was
for
a
us
dive. For
watching
us-
it was a definite nerd.
Yeah. It was a really awesome movie. Really recommend seeing it 100%. See it in theaters too. Like if you get
And
a chance to see it.
if you can see it in IMAX 3D, we
Yeah.
didn't get the chance, but seeing it in 2D almost doesn't feel like we got the entire movie that they wanted us to see because there was constantly blood
Yeah,
or
all
spears
sorts of
or
stuff.
arrows, like all kinds of stuff coming at the screen in the fights, and like there was giant.
And there was one point
like ships
in the movie
everywhere.
where literally blood splattered the screen. If
and
you
it
weren't
stayed
watching
on the
that in
screen for a
3D,
second too.
If you weren't watching it in 3D, like it has
So
no
if
justice.
you get the chance, you're not sure whether or not this is worth the 3D. It would be worth the 3D. We didn't see it in 3D, but I feel like it would be worth the 3D if you
Yeah,
could see it.
I
Try
agree.
and do that.
So thank you guys for watching. Please share, like, comment, subscribe, and keep in store because we're gonna have more reviews of different movies and
And also check out our Arrow review if you haven't seen that yet. We should have the next
Arrow
one soon,
review
sometime.
and weekly comic book review if you're a comic book reader. And thank you guys for watching. Nerdy or die.
A lot of 300 people died.